Hi, I'm Amanda. Welcome to All Access Eats. Some of you may already know me as an actress, a filmmaker, and the daughter of Meatloaf. But what you might not know about me is that I have a passion for cooking. And I especially love cooking for my friends and family. See, I grew up traveling the world on tour with my dad. And some of my earliest childhood family meal memories come from those that we had backstage with Dad's band and crew. And some of my earliest culinary experiences come from learning to cook those comfort foods from chefs all around the world. So I'm here to share some of those stories and those recipes with all of you. So if you look at my table in front of me today, you'll see that I don't have any pots, pans, and definitely don't have any heating elements. That's because today I'm not actually going to be cooking anything, but we are going to be playing around with some really amazing food science and an ancient recipe that goes all the way back to the Incan Empire. And that is one of my favorite dishes, ceviche. I'm so excited to show you guys this. Technically, it is a raw dish, but we are going to play with acids, and that's going to denature the proteins in my fish. So I'm starting off, I have a pound of raw shrimp and half a pound of big sea scallops. These are really beautiful. And then of course, lots of fresh veggies and things. The very first thing that I want to do is I actually want to salt my tomatoes first. We're going to add these in later, but I want them to marinate in just a bit of salt, about half a teaspoon. And that's going to really help bring out the flavor in the tomatoes later on. Great. So those are just going to sit by themselves, and they're going to be lovely. Sweating the tomatoes, I think we've talked about that before. And then next up, I'm going to salt probably about 2 teaspoons of salt on my shrimp and my scallops. I use shrimp and scallops in mine. I love the flavor of them. Ceviche, you can really, traditionally, it's actually a fish dish. So you use nice whitefish, tilapia, yellowtail, something like that. But I like the texture of shrimp and scallops. So that's what I'm using today. And these are raw. And you'll see in a second what we're going to do, and it's really cool. But if you're not into sushi, raw fish kind of thing, you can definitely par cook these if you want. It's going to change the recipe up a little bit as far as flavor and texture, but you're still going to have all the lovely flavors of everything else. So very first thing we're going to do, well, we already did our first thing. We added salt to it, right? So next up, we are going to be using citrus fruits. So originally, in the ancient Inca Empire, they didn't have lemons and limes. Those came later from Europeans. They used passion fruit, but that doesn't necessarily denature the shrimp as well. It does have some acid, but not enough, for me anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze. I don't want to squeeze too hard because I don't want to get too much juice from the rind in there. That'll be really sour. I just want to keep that fresh, sweet juice from inside the lime. And what this does, the lime juice, all of that acid that's in that, it's going to denature the proteins in the scallops and in the shrimp. And so they'll appear cooked. They're going to go from their normal sort of soft pink color to a much more opaque white. You'll see I'm using Argentinian pink shrimp, so they look like they're already cooked, but they're not. And you can tell by the texture of them when you hold them or stir them. And so this is going to, the acids appear to cook, but they're not really cooking. And now we're adding some lemon. I want enough juice from these limes and these lemons so that they're just covering all of the shrimp and all of the scallops. So right now we've got the juice from 2 lemons and 2 limes. I might cut another lime. Yeah, I think we're going to cut one more lime because I want to make sure that they're all covered. One more. And this is one of those dishes that, although it's based in Peru, Ecuador, there's some dispute about that. Definitely in the Incan Empire, we do know that. Much based on archaeological finds. It is now, ceviche can now be found on pretty much every continent in some form or another. So even today in Peru, where they have National Ceviche Day, and it really is, it's the national food, they use sweet potatoes and fresh corn. But I'm going to mix things up a little bit. So now, yeah, now they're nice. So if you were using, I don't want to hit that too hard. This is a beautiful spoon. We'll talk about this some more. But my boyfriend made this gorgeous stirring spoon. And if you're interested in it, he can make one for you too. So if you're using a whitefish, say, or a tilapia or a yellowtail, you would just let this sit for about 15 minutes, and then it would be ready for all the other ingredients. Because I'm using shrimp and scallops, they're much more dense. So I'm actually going to go ahead and cover this up and put this in the fridge for 1 hour. And after an hour, I should start to see them firm up a little bit, and then I'll know it's ready to add the rest of my ingredients. Awesome. So we'll see you in an hour. So here's my shrimp and my scallops. They have been curing in this lemon and lime juice bath for about an hour. They're looking really good and firm. I just want to give you guys a couple notes. I use commercially frozen shrimp and scallops that I actually get from Trader Joe's. So if you are going to do this with raw seafood, make sure that you're getting sushi grade or that you're getting commercially frozen. Don't ever buy something that's been frozen before and then thawed out at your grocer or anything like that, or something that you're not sure of. Or go ahead and parboil it just a little bit, just so you make sure that you know that you don't want to make anybody sick. So, but it's really, really good, and I'm really excited, and everything's nice and firm, and I can see that, so I am happy with it. So now I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. And the ingredients that I like to use, so the first time I had this dish was actually in Florida, at one of Dad's shows, and I wish I could remember the name of the venue. I can't. All I can remember is that chef made amazing ceviche and amazing bananas Foster. Go figure. The way that he made it had a little bit more of a Cuban flair to it. Having lived in Los Angeles for 20 years, the ceviche that I've come to know and love has more of a Mexican flair. But if you were in Peru, for instance, you're going to find ceviche that has sweet potatoes and corn. I've had it with mango, with pineapple, all kinds of, so play around, experiment, see what you like. This is what I like. So I'm going to start with some garlic. Look, I've got another spatula by Chill. So just about 3 cloves of fresh garlic that I finally diced. And this is 1 whole cucumber that I diced. 1 whole red onion. This is a shishito pepper. So traditionally, when I eat ceviche in Mexican restaurants, they're going to have jalapeno. I personally can't have that much spice as much as I like it. I can't eat it, sadly, so I use shishito. So that's going to give me a nice peppery taste, but it's not going to have all that capsaicin. If you like your foods with more spice, a little bit hotter, go ahead and use a jalapeno instead of this. These are plum tomatoes, so you can use Roma tomatoes, whatever kind of tomatoes you like. I liked these ones because at the store they were nice and bright and red, and they just looked really good, where the Romas were a little bit paler. So these are the ones I got, but you can use any kind of tomato that you like. Just again, make sure that everything's finely diced. I'll show you why after I'm done mixing everything. And then finally, lots of really nice fresh cilantro. I don't know, I think this is about quarter of a cup, half a cup. I like a lot. Some people like less. I'm not one of those people with a cilantro version. I'm the opposite. I have a cilantro love. Now we're just going to stir everything up. So there it is. That's it. It's done. Look how beautiful that is with all the different colors. It's really nice and fresh and crisp. I know it's January. This is a lovely summer dish, but it's really good any time of year that you're feeling like you want to be healthy and you want to have some fresh, good food. I'm going to try some. That is really, really lovely. The shrimp and the scallops are nice and soft and sweet. And then I've got a good crunch from the onions, from the cucumber. That cilantro is giving me lots of great bright herbiness. A little bit of that garlic in there. It's a gorgeous dish. It's beautiful. Couldn't be easier to make as long as you have a little bit of patience and you don't mind chopping some stuff up. So there it is, my shrimp and scallop ceviche. I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you put in your ceviche. I'm curious because I've had all kinds from sweet corn, sweet potatoes, pineapple, mango, you name it. Let me know. Please, if you like what you saw today, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time for more stories and recipes from the road.